You're listening to the one podcast that should replace all boring local radio morning shows. It's BM Talk with Marc and Bob.
Thank you for coming. I'll see you in hell.
All right.
You see, whether igloo, hut, or lean-to, or a geodesic dome, there's no structure I have been to which I'd rather call my home.
Hello!
When I first arrived, you were all such jerks, but now I've come to love your quirks. Maggie with her eyes so bright, Marge with hair by Frank Lloyd Wright, Lisa can philosophize, Bart's adept at spinning lies, Homer's a delightful fella, sorry about the salmonella.
That's okay.
Who needs the quickie mart? Now here's the tricky part. Oh, won't you rhyme with me? Who needs the quickie mart?
Therefore is our sticky mart. They made that sticky mart. Let's hurl a bricky mart.
The quickie mart is real. Go!
Who needs the quickie mart?
Not me.
Forget the quickie mart. Goodbye to quickie mart. Who needs the quickie mart?
Not me.
Everything really wrapped up nicely. Much quicker than usual.
I guess we learned that happiness is wherever you find it.
And we've all found happiness. Every one of us. Hey, what's that sound?
Who needs the quickie mart? I do.
Hey, he's not happy at all. He lied to us through song. I hate when people do that. You only live once.
Hey, speak for yourself. I don't want to live anymore.
Oh, give me that wiener.
No, I don't want to live, sir.
Give me that wiener. No, Apo, it's not worth it.
All right, here's your last question. What was the cause of the Civil War?
Actually, there were numerous causes. Aside from the obvious schism between abolitionists and anti-abolitionists, economic factors, both domestic and international, played a significant...
Hey.
Yeah.
Just say slavery.
Slavery it is, sir. Yes, I am a citizen. Now, which way to the welfare office?
What?
I'm kidding. I work.
Hey, you're Abu Nahasapima Petalon, aren't you? I mean, you're like the guy. You're a legend around here. Can I ask you, is it true you once worked 96 hours straight?
Oh, yes. It was horrible, I tell you. By the end, I thought I was a hummingbird of some kind.
Oh, yeah. I studied your old security tapes.
You've got to start selling this for more than $1 a bag. We lost 4 more men on this expedition. If you can think of a better way to get ice, I'd like to hear it.
Yeah, you gotta say. Beats me.
For no reason, here's Apu.
Now I finally have time to do what I've always wanted. Write the great American novel. Mine is about a futuristic amusement park where dinosaurs are brought to life through advanced cloning techniques. I call it Billy and the Clonosaurus.
Oh, you have got to be kidding, sir. First you think of an idea that has already been done, and then you give it a title that nobody could possibly like. Didn't you think this bestseller list for 18 months? Every magazine cover had it. Popular movies of all time, sir. What were you thinking? I mean, thank you. I'll come again.
When are people going to learn? Democracy doesn't work.
Please don't knock the land that I love. Jury duty. Oh, today I am truly an American citizen. Jiminy cricket. Ooh, expired ham. Oh, this time I've gone too far. No one will fall for...
Woohoo! Cheap meat! Ooh, this one's open. Ooh, stomach churning. Bowels clenching. Not much time. Must finish. This is what I think of your store.
Silly customer! You cannot hurt a Twinkie!
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
good.
We're
okay.
good.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Welcome to the. What are we up to now? 12.
Yeah.
Episode 12.
Holy shit.
That's 3 months.
3 months, baby.
3 months.
Yes.
Doing the show.
3 months of me repeating you.
Right?
Right.
You're like a parrot.
I am.
We're like, what is it? Like pirates, and you're my little parrot on my shoulder.
Right. I'm the parrot on the shoulder.
Well, today is Friday, May 4th, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you.
I don't even know what that is.
I know you've never
really.
seen the Star Wars. Well, you
No.
know the May the Force be with you. This from Star Wars.
Yeah. May the 4th be with you. I
Right.
get it.
I guess Star Wars is now that big where it has its own day.
I guess so.
It's Star Wars Day, so like everything on TV, like probably FX and some of those other channels are going to be playing Star Wars shit all day.
My God.
Can you hear it? I'll turn that up.
There we go.
So we can hear it.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I figured we'd mention Star Wars Day. We can get that nerd audience to come and listen to the show. Oh, they mentioned Star Wars. Oh, they're a pretty good show. We're going to watch it.
Hey, that's all right.
Or listen.
I don't mind.
I welcome all listeners.
I don't mind. I don't, like...
Wrestling fans are just kind of as nerdy with, what they're into as Star Wars fans.
Right? That is very true.
They got the figures, the T-shirts, the toys, the masks, whatever.
Hey, I can't talk. I'm an Insane Clown Posse fan.
There's nothing wrong with that. I like them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. So I really can't say anything about crazy fandom.
Right.
So, I mean,
well,
hey, to each his own. That's what I say.
Right. Well, so it is.
I just never got into it because I was never into like sci-fi kind of stuff.
See, I'm not a big sci-fi guy either, though. But I like Star Wars. I like the original Star Trek.
Okay.
With Captain Kirk, and Spock and Bones and them guys. When they started expanding Star Trek, I kind of lost interest. I'm like, okay, I don't really care. But
because they went to like Star Trek Full Metal Jacket and Star Trek.
Yeah, the Next Generation and all that. Yeah, I didn't get into all that. I like the original, like Star Wars. I like the original trilogy, 70s and the 80s.
Oh, so you don't watch any of the new stuff, or
I've
do
seen
you check it out?
I've seen them only once.
Oh, okay.
But like the original trilogy, I've seen hundreds of times probably.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm not like super uber Star Wars guy.
All right, so may the 4th be with you,
and may the 4th be with you. So stupid.
And also with you.
Like they can't nothing
it's
better.
Like church.
To do.
It's like church.
It is.
Peace be with you, and also with you.
That's what I say to people. May the 4th be with you, and also with you.
That's great.
That's funny. Well, yeah, apparently, that's. I mean, it's kind of cool that you got a fan base that big, where they dedicate a holiday to you, in a roundabout way.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Not just that, but like I saw, the sports card company Topps.
Yeah.
You have to see the fucking cards that they made for Star Wars when they came out with that, the new movie, I guess, but it's a prequel, isn't it? Isn't that what those movies are?
Which one? Because they did the prequel, then they did the after prequel.
Yeah, what's the one that freaking what's his face is in? Shit, I don't even.
Luke is in the original trilogy. 4, 5, 6.
But what's what he was in recently? Like
that was The Force Awakens. That was after Jedi. So now they're moving forward. So they went back, did the prequel 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay.
Like the rise of Darth Vader.
Okay.
And then
the rise of James Earl Jones.
Right? And then you get the Luke Skywalker Darth Vader trilogy. And then at the end of Jedi, when Darth Vader dies and, I'm your dad and the whole thing, now they're moving forward doing the story after Jedi.
Oh, see, you just lost me after Jedi.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, the card
And then
company
they got
tops.
and then they got little movies in between. Like
Is that what that is? That what this
Rogue
whole thing
One
is for? Yes, okay.
Is its own separate story in between it.
Oh, gotcha.
The Han Solo movie that's coming out is just like a movie about like Han Solo's. It's about him, the whole movie. So it's like his rise to Han Solo.
And Mark Hamill is still going to be in it, or no?
I have no idea.
Okay, but no,
because those are the movies I probably won't go see.
Okay. What I was talking about the sports card company Topps.
Topps, yeah.
They make these fucking cards with these people. Like where they cut movie props out of it and put it on the card.
Oh, yeah.
And then they got like the autographs, all these different things on it. Like it's really cool, actually, like how they do all that. But it's crazy to think like they have a big enough fan base so they can produce something like that.
Oh, yeah, and they're crazy fan base. Like no matter what you come up with at Star Wars, these people here take my money.
Okay, so they could come out with different variations of something, and somebody would be like, "Oh, I'm buying all of them."
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is here's the Chewbacca suit that he took a shit in during one of the things. Buy it, and somebody will buy it. Here, Harrison Ford blew his nose in this tissue.
Oh, okay.
In episode 4,
this is part of his booger right here.
Right. They're crazy. Like Elvis. People are, like that.
Right.
Remember, did I ever tell you about that one lady who was on the TV, that Ozzy show that he does with his son, Jack? The
MS fuck.
Yeah. But they do the world tour thing that him and his Ozzy and Jack do together, that TV show.
Okay, Full Metal Ozzy.
No, what the hell is it called? World Detour. And they stop at this lady's house, and she has Elvis's toenail. Yeah, no, we didn't need that. It was just a toenail.
Well, hey, it's Elvis's toenail.
Supposedly. She said she got it on the floor when she went to tour the Graceland. She saw it on it. Now, it could have been Elvis's. It could have been just a worker who
it could
stopped.
have been,
it could be anybody's
I thought it was
toenail.
like an authenticated Elvis toenail.
No. Wait a minute.
Oh, I just
No,
hit
the
something.
toenail isn't, but she has something else from Elvis that is authenticated. Oh, his wart.
His wart?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's authenticated because she bought it from the doctor who removed it from Elvis.
Wow. That doctor could have been in a lot of trouble nowadays.
Right? Well, back then, he could just cut pieces off of people and hand them over.
Elvis's wart.
Elvis's wart.
Authenticated by the doctor that removed it.
Right.
Oh, I have something, too, that I should have pulled a clip.
Right.
And I'm just going to have you hear it.
Okay.
Because this is have you heard the Kanye West Poop song?
No. No, I have not.
Oh, my God. Hold on.
The Kanye West Poop song?
Yes.
No.
Now, I'll explain it after I play it.
You want to plug it in?
After I play it.
You want to plug it in?
Oh, I don't have the thing, but you'll be able to hear it. It's 23 seconds long.
Oh, okay. It's not a long
thing.
All right, go ahead.
That is.
Oh my God. That's almost as good or bad as doo doo caca pee pee.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not even going to go into doo doo caca. It's a friend of ours who's on YouTube.
What he doesn't understand is he could be even more famous from that poo poo song. But no, people are putting this thing out there. Right, and first of all, it's a horrible choice of words to put in something. But I think what he's doing is like if you're trying to get a rhythm of like how vocals would go on something,
right?
It's like you scat, so you might just be like super da ba da ba 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 da shubba-da-bubba-da-bubba. But I would never use poop as a scat word.
As a scat word.
As a scat word. As a scat word. I would never. Hold on.
Like a German scat film, we're throwing shit around.
Right.
Talk with Marc and Bob.
No pun intended.
Yes, but no, like if you're scatting on the microphone, like "subada boop 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 ba 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 ba," that's not. I would not use "scoopity poop, poopity scoop poop." He said like "poop scoop, pooper scooper." Like wow, Kanye. I think people are just really trying to do whatever they can to fucking get rid of this guy's career.
I think he's lost his mind.
He's lost his mind. That's right, because Kanye West went on fucking TMZ and said that slavery was voluntary for 400 years.
Yeah, he said. I get what he was trying to say.
Yeah, but
that instead of, because he's thinking about it in terms of if it was happening today. But
right.
It didn't happen today, and it was
right.
different back then because
right.
black people didn't have freedom, so you didn't have access
right.
to the black market to get guns, to get
exactly.
It was like, I'm not going to, like Eddie Murphy did I only say this because I watched his stand-up special, Delirious, last night.
Oh, on Netflix.
He did a bit about this.
Okay.
That when the people got off the bus, there was always these guys that say, "Oh, I wouldn't put up with this shit, slavery, blah blah blah." I would tell massa, "Suck my dick. I ain't picking cotton."
Yeah,
and he said, that's probably what happened to the first guy who got off the boat. Pick this cotton. I ain't picking that cotton, motherfucker. Suck my dick. And then he got whipped, and the other guys were like, "Okay, we'll pick that cotton. You can keep that shit to yourself."
Right, or killed.
Right,
like that's what doesn't make sense to me. Like, how could you be so ignorant to?
Because he's ignorant to that stuff.
Wow.
Like, it wasn't... These people didn't want... Maybe at first they were like, okay, well, we're working, whatever, but then they realized, like, all right, this is bullshit.
Right.
And they didn't go along with it. They started little things to try and get away. It just took them, 400 years to do it.
It took them a long time to do it.
So, because of the times.
So, do you remember the rap group, The Dog Pound?
The Dog Pound.
Daz and Corrupt?
No. Well, give me a song. Maybe I know a song. Did they have a popular song?
New York, big city of dreams, and everything in New York ain't always what it seems.
Nope.
No? Okay. Well, Daz right now, part of the Dog Pound, is going on Instagram calling out Kanye West, saying pretty much like, yo, the Crips, you better watch your back because the Crips are after. I'm getting the Crips after you.
Oh my God!
He's getting the Crips after Kanye. And so I wrote on one of his videos because he's making videos and putting them on his Instagram. Like, the Crips are watching out for you. You better not come anywhere near this part of California or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God! I wrote on one of them. I go, oh my God, you need to keep doing this until Kanye stops the music. I'm like, wait, better yet, until Kanye gets a sex change like Bruce.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That would be incredible. Kanye West.
What would his girl name be?
Oh, I don't know. What would Kanye be?
I
guess it could
well,
still be
Kanye.
Kanye.
Because Bruce doesn't transfer to Caitlyn.
Yeah, I guess
so he
not.
could, I guess, choose whatever. Kathy.
Yeah, he could be Kathy. Kathy West.
Kathy West.
Yeah. This is my new rap name. I'm going under Kathy West.
Abby.
I'm the greatest female to ever graze the microphone.
The greatest female former male to ever graze the microphone.
Right. Now be trying to steal all kinds of awards. Well, I think that this award should have gone to the best transgender freaking person making music, which is me.
Non-binary.
Non-binary.
You think he'd go into that whole thing?
No. Are you kidding me? He'd think slavery was voluntary. Do you think he'd get non-binary?
Is he one of those people that think the earth is flat, too?
Oh, maybe. Well, I wish we could get a hold of Kanye.
I wonder if he said that in an interview somewhere. I wonder if he's one of them fucking lunatics.
He's a flat earther?
Yeah. Because then I could just tell him, just go walk off the edge of the earth then. Do us all a favor. If it's flat, go to the end and jump.
That's incredible.
Fucking Kanye West.
Yeezy.
That's funny. Yeah, I know, right? Well, we got a big show today, actually.
Yes.
We're going to be calling in will be Sham Sharma, who has a YouTube channel where he posts videos up, does like a video podcast?
Yeah.
An Indian gentleman that we talked to about this whole Hari Kondabolu problem with Apu thing.
I'll tell you what, Hari has been on Mark's mind for this entire week.
I can't.
He wants to kill Hari.
Well, I don't know.
I don't mean like actual murder.
Right.
I mean he's trying to kill Hari's train of thought.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't lose sleep if I found out something bad happened to him, but I mean, I'm not going to go put a hit out on him or anything.
No, I know. Well, because you're Italian, you might.
I'm going to contact somebody on Mulberry Street and be like, "Now listen, you see this fucking guy, just don't kill him. Just break a couple bones."
No, wait. That was not a sound effect. That was actually crows outside of the window. I didn't even play that.
But yeah, we'll be talking to him. He'll be calling in. And being that he is Indian, we got his kind of take on what he thinks of this Apu controversy that's going around about Hari's video documentary about Hari. We'll talk to him about that. It should be fun. He's from Chicago, and I say, if you get a chance, check out his YouTube page. It's Sham Sharma.
Right, and I'm actually putting a link in the description
on the website,
on the website, and in the description of this.
bmtalk02.com.
Yes, bmtalk02.com.
So yeah, we're waiting for that to come in, and it looks like finally we're starting to get some action on the Facebook where people are commenting, and we're starting to get a little interactive, which is what I'm looking for.
Yes, hold on, wait, before you go to that, let's do this. Hold on.
We don't kneel for the national anthem. Hell, we don't even stand up.
Diabetes.
I'm too fat and he's in a wheelchair. You're listening to BM Talk with Marc and Bob.
Wow.
Right?
I think that was a little low. I think the compression or something might be a little off.
I don't know.
Because I think we were trying to fuck with the intro song or whatever. But see, now they just fucked with what I was trying, with what we were trying to do.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
We'll have to fuck around
so
with it.
So we're going into comments, Facebook comments. We're going to make a bumper for that.
And this was the last show we did, the episode 11 about the. Let's see, we talked about Hari Kondabolu, the Bill Cosby, and the Lulu Spawn. These comments have to do with the Bill Cosby case. Tony Serrett says that Cosby got enough money. Or actually, no, he didn't say it like that. He says Cosby got enough cash to tie up in court forever. And
wow.
I hope I said his name right. And then Cicely Barlow. Anyway, she commented, replied to him, said, "That's what they are counting on, extortion legalized," which I don't agree with, and nor does Tony Serrett, because he commented back to her, "No, to save his own ass from going to jail." And that's pretty much, you think about it, it's just like OJ.
Yes, if you have enough money,
oh yeah,
you can drag anything out.
If that Vegas thing didn't happen, OJ would have never seen the inside of a cell.
He would have never seen a cell.
So same thing with Cosby. And you know what? I don't see Cosby having a Vegas incident where he ends up in jail. So if he does have the money to keep himself out of jail, he's going to spend it all.
No, here's what I was just thinking.
What?
You were talking about a Vegas incident?
Yeah.
So my mind immediately went to the Vegas shooter. So, first of all, I'm thinking of O.J. Simpson busting shots out of hotel room.
Oh, my God.
And then Bill Cosby, give me my Jello pudding, motherfucker.
Going nuts in the other window.
Going crazy.
Oh, my God, that would be funny. See, but if Bill Cosby don't go to jail, we can't do our bit.
Cosby behind bars.
Actually, we probably still could, whether he's there or not.
Yeah, why not?
The concept is funny. Bill Cosby in jail.
Yes.
Did you ever think 20 years ago, even 10 years ago,
that
we'd be talking about Bill Cosby in jail, doing time, dying in prison, possibly?
No.
You know?
No.
The only thing Bill Cosby in jail would be like to go and counsel some of the inmates.
He dies with a spoon of Jell-O pudding, like
up his ass.
I was thinking like drooling out of his mouth, but you went there.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're nasty in prison.
They're putting it up.
They're probably squirting the pudding up his ass. Somebody's holding him down. Somebody's spreading his cheeks, and they're spooning it out, eating.
God,
what the fuck is wrong with me? Who has thoughts like that?
I don't know.
Evidently, I do.
You clearly.
I need help counseling. I need something.
Clearly,
you know what it is? Lack of sex life.
It is.
So
well, I don't know. I've had a lack of sex life, but I'm not. I don't talk crazy like that.
Well, see, I have this addiction. This is what happens when you go into
full sex addiction.
Yeah, and then you don't have it for a while. What is that? What is that called? Detox?
Oh, you're going into no, that's not detox, is it?
I don't know. When you're addicted to something and you don't have it for a while.
Oh yeah, detox.
All right, that's what's happening to me. I'm going nuts. Well, that's not. Yeah, well, it's a good idea too. We won't talk about my diarrhea issues.
Oh boy!
Well, since we're talking about assholes and
you want to talk about something personal right now?
All right, go ahead.
No, I was.
Oh, you wanted me to talk about my diarrhea?
Talk about your rear?
My diarrhea issues. That every time I got to fart, I got to gamble. So I got to go sit down, and it sounds a little bit like that sometimes. So I can't fart anymore. Anytime I feel like I got to run to the bathroom and sit down because I never know what's going to happen.
Oh my God!
If it's
I got a crap on deck that could choke a donkey.
If it's going to be a solid fart or if it's going to be air. But I think it's that diabetes medication I'm on.
It's the diabetes diarrhea.
So I got to talk to the doctor, find out, because it's terrible. Like I like to fart, you know.
Yes.
No, I can't.
Diabetes diarrhea.
Diabetes diarrhea is terrible.
Oh.
But I guess I'd rather have that than MS. Not.
Thanks.
No. You know what I'm not trying to be a dick.
No,
but
you're
you know
right.
What I mean?
You're
like,
right. Well, yours is caused by medication.
Right.
That your medication just has to be fucked with, and it'll take care of itself.
Well, like I said, I don't even think I have it. I just think again.
Drinking. He was drinking these energy drinks.
Yeah, like
not
3 months. 3 months before I had to go in for blood work, I was hitting those energy drinks pretty hard.
And they were cheap energy drinks too, right?
Yeah,
like
the
Walmart brand.
Yeah, the Venom.
Yeah. So maybe they put a little extra venom in there to give you the beaties.
A little something, yeah, because that A1C test was off or whatever it's called, and that's the one that goes back 3 months. So when I go in June for another blood test, and I'm pretty sure that's going to come back all normal. Everything will be fine, and then we'll see if I get taken off medication or if I get my lower dosage. Because when I was taking the lower dose, it wasn't too bad. But now that I'm my dose is upped.
Oh yeah, then
that's when it's gotten bad.
It's got to be something with the medication, because when you were taking the lower dose, it wasn't as bad.
Right.
So, and now you're taking a higher dose and it's bad, and you actually Googled it. I told you to Google it, and you Googled it,
yes.
And it looks like that is part of a side effect. And like I said, it's a side effect is like take 10 people that take the medication and one person gets that. That's a side effect.
Well, I guess I'm the one of 10 that gets the shits.
Yep. You are shitting.
That's real good for your sex life, too.
Yes.
Like, before I climb up on top of you, let me go drop this in the toilet.
And then,
real sexy.
And then maybe while I'm screwing you, I'm dropping a fucking diarrhea on the bed.
I'm coming and shitting at the same time. That's wonderful, isn't it?
Shitting, coming, and she's squirting.
Yeah,
so there's shit, piss, and
all over
cum all over the place.
What a cleanup. I'll need a cleanup crew for that. This is
You'll need Harvey Weinstein's pit crew.
I think they're just used to come. I don't think they'd come in for piss and shit. They'd be like, oh no,
just used to come.
We need a couple of groups. His pit crew can come in, clean the cum.
Okay.
And then we call another group to come in for the piss and shit.
Just like maybe you should get hotel rooms.
You know,
so you have
what
a maid.
You know what I'll just
it.
do? I'll put the plastic thing on the mattress so nothing goes through.
Like the old people at their houses
yes,
with the couches covered in plastic.
And then I'll just take the sheets that are soiled and whatever, just take them, roll them up, and burn them in the backyard, and just buy new sheets.
Great idea.
You know, it'll be expensive, but actually, it won't be expensive because
you're not having sex.
I'm not
like
having
that.
sex like that, so we're all good.
Beautiful.
Now, next week is the 13th episode.
Yes. Oh, yes. We get to talk about this.
We were talking about doing a PG show.
Yes.
And remember, I said in that little bonus episode that something's probably going to happen.
Right.
Where we're not going to be able to do a PG show without swear. We're not going to be able to do a show without swearing because something's going to happen.
Right.
Isn't it not Mother's Day next weekend?
Correct. And you're not a big fan.
Yeah. It's not that I don't speak to my mother, but she doesn't speak to me.
Oh, man.
So it's like, I would like to cover, talk a little bit about Mother's Day.
Well, you're going to have to talk about Mother's Day without cursing.
It is not going to happen. Because once I bring that bitch up, it's all fucking, guns a-blazing for me to explain, what a fucking douchebag she is. And I'm not going to do it now and here because it's, but it is Mother's Day month. Mother's Day is next week. So, yeah, I think either we don't talk about Mother's Day.
And I love my mom.
I love your mom, too.
Oh, I love my mom.
I brought her flowers last year for Mother's Day.
I know.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe we don't do a PG show till after next week.
Oh, dear God. See, he's just going to keep postponing it.
No, I know I'm not going to be able to do a clean show talking about my douchebag mother and her fucking stupid family.
I know. Okay, so maybe we push it back.
Or my fucking retarded dumbass sister who's also got kids and is fucking retarded and don't talk to me.
Mark.
Yo.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Gotta chill, man.
Yeah, well... Like I said,
so maybe
long
we
story,
do.
But I should explain it so people aren't like, "Wow, it's pretty harsh." It's your mom. She gave birth to you. Blah blah blah.
You came out of her vagina.
She gave birth to me, and I think hated me since that fucking day.
Wow, that's hard.
Right. Well, I've heard things, and I can tell you stories, and trust me, she's not a great fucking person.
Well, unfortunately, there are some of those mothers out there.
Oh, absolutely, and I feel bad for them. Like, I'd like to start a foundation, or like in all seriousness, for kids who have to deal with that shit, because I know it's not easy. And sometimes it's not your mom, sometimes it's your dad,
right,
who's the asshole,
right,
and you have a bad relationship with, or they treat you like shit, or
right,
something. So it's not always the mom, but I got lucky. My dad was cool, and
yeah,
but. And in some instances, it's both parents are assholes.
Yes.
And
sometimes as a kid, you just want to get away from both of them.
Right. And then what can you do? What do you do? Like, they have shelters for women who are...
They still have the Boys and Girls Club, don't they?
Yeah, but can you run away to that? And
oh, I don't know.
Like if you're a woman in a relationship, in a marriage or whatever, and you're getting beaten or whatever...
Yeah, you can
leave and run away
and go,
and to those shelters, and... They don't acknowledge that you're there. But
kids have no rights.
Yeah, they have no place to go, because if your home life is that bad and you run away, you either end up living under a bridge or, in a van down by the river. No, but in all seriousness, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have any place to go to where they're going to give you sanctuary and say, yeah, no, they're,
Yeah. Well, and they can't say that you're not there because you're a child. You don't have rights.
But, like, where do you go if you're an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, 10, 11, 12-year-old teenager?
Well, that's why girls find boyfriends at a young age.
All right, well,
to get away. You know what I'm saying?
I got two boys. Not that I think they're going to run away, but I mean,
I wouldn't think that your two boys would run away. But No, like that's where like a girl would try and find like shelter with somebody.
Right,
but
right.
You're saying like
As
if you're a
almost
boy.
like a father figure type
Yes.
deal. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Or that's why you hear it in girls who go into porn and go into stripping.
Oh, yeah. They weren't loved.
Right. That's the common story. Their parents didn't love them.
Fill my vagina with
trying
love.
to find my dad.
Yes.
Is what they're doing.
Yes, every cock is their father.
See, I'd like to start something like that, though. So, like, if a kid runs away, like, I don't even know what happens. If you run away, the police find you because you have no or you run to a friend's house, but eventually the police find you when they file the report that you're gone, and then they just bring you back to that home.
No, well, then I guess you'd have to tell the police why, blah, 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 and all that shit, and then they would call CPS. And then you'd have to tell CPS because then they would appoint you like a lawyer.
How would... Okay, because I'm like... Are you going to take a kid's word, an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, 11, 12-year-old?
I think they can kind of tell for the most part.
You know, like, hey,
I guess.
No, but all right, let's say you have a child, they run away.
Yes.
10-year-old.
Yep.
Okay, and the cops pick you up like down the road at your friend's house or whatever, and... All right, we're going to take you back home. No, don't take me back there. My dad's like this. My mom's like this, whatever. And so then what you're saying is they call CPS first.
They
and say, okay, if it's bad, call CPS. Now, CPS goes to the house, and then your dad or your mom is all, no, I don't understand. Everything is fine here. Yeah, we got in a little argument because... And then what if the parent spins the story? Like, oh, no, see, what happened was I was trying to get her to do homework or him to do do homework and blah, 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 and it turned out I didn't even know she ran away or
see, I don't know. I guess that's where it would get into kind of a mess.
What if the parents play the role and it doesn't look bad and then you as a CPS worker are like, okay, well, maybe it is the child exaggerating what happened when it's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, that's where I think... I mean, I don't know. I've never had CPS, never had to deal with them, but like I'd like to start something.
Well, my mom worked for them for years, so I mean, I know how shit. I guess maybe we could bring my mom.
Yeah, we'd have to bring her
and
on
and ask her how that kind of stuff works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, for another show, we'll have your mom come on and talk because I'm kind of curious because, like I said, I seriously would like to start something for children, teenagers, kids, whatever. If you're not run away, and we can help you,
right?
Because nobody should have to. Nobody should like the way I grew up. Nobody should have to grow up like that. You shouldn't hate your mother. Your mother shouldn't hate you. It shouldn't be like that. But you know, people are fucked up, and it's the kids who get hurt in the end. But anyways, on the phone now, BM Talk. We have a new friend of the show. I think it's safe to say. Now, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to mess it up. But I believe it's Sham Sharma.
That's correct.
That's how you pronounce it? Okay. See, I was right on it. I wasn't sure if it was Sham, like that Sham Wow towel thing or whatever, but I remember, you were saying it on the show. And he is from the Sham Sharma show that you can find on YouTube. And he is an Indian fellow, and we got him on the show because last week we were talking about the Hari Kondabolu documentary, The Problem with Apu. And, Bob and I, we are white Italian Americans, and, we don't want to get out there that, you're white guys or you're Italians or, you're mad about this foreigner talking about the cartoon. And it's nothing like that at all. So... We found him, on YouTube. We were doing some research, trying to find people who were either for or against the documentary, and we came upon Sham, and he seemed to have be on the same page as we were. Got a hold of him, and here he is on the air with us.
Right.
So thanks for joining
us. Thanks very much, guys, for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Now, when you first saw what was your first impression of the documentary?
It's interesting because I was made aware of it through, I think Comedy Central was first talking about it, and I used to watch Comedy Central back in the Jon Stewart days when I used to actually enjoy it, and then after Trevor Noah took over, I don't know, I've not been a big fan of him since then, but so I heard it there, and so I looked it up, I watched the documentary, and My first impression was that, okay, I get what you're trying to say in terms of, okay, that was the only character you could relate to, and you made, people called you that name, and I get that. But at the same time, I feel like if you really think about any immigrant group that moved to the U.S., I don't think there was any immigrant group in America's history that was not picked on when they first moved here. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the show picks on, they pick on everybody.
Absolutely, and you look at in the past as well, and you look at, you guys are talking about being Italian Americans, and you look at some of the stereotypes they used to have back in the day about Italians, and some of the nasty stuff that they used to say about Italians, and then Irish people, and then eventually people move on from it, and people eventually get over it. And Indians kind of have been in the minds of Americans over the past 20 or 30 years only, so now you look at TV shows like The Mindy Project and Master of None and all of these shows where Indians are featured so, they're right in the forefront. And so I feel like in the next couple of decades or so, we're going to kind of move away from just looking at, oh, thank you, come again, from that thing. We're going to kind of move away from that in the next couple of decades. But at the same time, some stereotypes never really go away. You see the whole thing. I don't know if you guys watch Family Guy, do you?
Yes.
Yep.
So if you look at Family Guy, you look at the way they talk about Italians and Italian stereotypes, and sometimes you just got to roll with the punches,
Absolutely, and I'm not offended. Like, I love comedy, and I think that's what comedy is. It's an exaggeration of, it's just an exaggeration.
Yep.
Kind of like when you go to the state fair or something and somebody does that caricature of you, and it's just a weird big cartoon of yourself. And I think it's funny. I'm not easily offended to either, but I think it's funny because I know that's like not all Italians are fat in the mafia, eat spaghetti, you know what I mean? I know Italians that are skinny and they can't eat spaghetti or they hate it,
Right.
But The Simpsons, Bob and I were talking about this the other day, they have your typical Italian restaurant owner's got the big mustache. He comes out and he talks like it is. Hey, how are you doing? And then his mom comes out of the back with a wooden spoon and hits him. And I'm like, not all Italians are like that. Most Italian moms do have a wooden spoon, but whether they use it or not, I can't say. And then you also got Fat Tony, who's the mafia guy, and it's like, okay, not all Italians in the mafia are fat or called Tony, but I'm not bothered by it or not. Motivated to go, oh, I think I got to do a documentary on, and like you said too, nowadays the Indian people, they're becoming more prominent in things where Apu he's not a main character, he's more of a bit character, and he just shows up here and there. He's not even, you might see him once every 4 or 5 episodes.
Right.
And that was one of the things we got confused about, when he was talking about how his childhood was tormented by Apu. And I'm like, but he wasn't a main character. He only showed up a few times. I don't understand.
Right.
And you were living in Queens, New York, which is a melting pot of all different cultures and stuff. I can't imagine, they were just, they picked on you specifically. Or maybe they meant it, as a half-hearted a joke in a way, like, oh, hey, yeah, thank you, come again. And, he just didn't have a sense of humor and took it personal rather than maybe the joke that I don't know, I wasn't there, I don't want to speculate, but it just, to us, it seemed kind of odd that you're going to have this issue with a character who's been on a cartoon character who's a 30-year-old character on a bit character on a show, but if you look at it in the big picture, he's I'm talking about Apu. He's owned his own business for 30 years, supports his family, is a family man, a religious man, all that stuff. So aside from the, what does he call it, the patanking voice, I don't think it's all that more negative than the Italian thing or the dumb cop. Or any other stereotype that The Simpsons do,
For sure, and I agree with that as well. The thing is that I think one of the most important things when it comes to things like this is to pick our battles. And I feel like in this case, particularly, we picked the wrong battle to fight because we're calling out a show for creating a stereotype. Like I've said this before, and like you guys talked about when I heard your episode as well. You're calling out a show on creating a stereotype, but what you fail to realize, or maybe you realize it but you ignored it, is the fact that this show is all about stereotypes. It only deals in stereotype. Every single character on this show is a stereotype. Lisa, Homer, Mo, every single character that you can name is an overblown stereotype.
Absolutely.
So
right.
You might be trying to make a half-decent point, but the medium that you've chosen or the show that you've chosen to make that point with just completely ruins the point, even if you were trying to make a point.
Right. Now, does it bother? It seemed like his other issue was that Hank Azaria, a white person, was doing. Does it bother you that Hank Azaria, or it could be any white voice actor, is doing the voice?
Not particularly. It doesn't really bother me because, again, the thing is, maybe it could have bothered people, 20 years ago that there's only this one big Indian character on TV and it's being done by a white guy. Maybe it could have bothered them then, but what I'm thinking is like 30 years or 20 whatever years later, today when there's so much representation of Indians in TV and in movies, and I don't know why it would bother them now. That's kind of what I was worried about, because if you look at today, like we were talking about before as well, there's so much representation now. And I think the best way to kind of get over those stereotypes is to tell better stories, which is what is happening now with Indians. And so, yeah, it doesn't really bother me, I mean, I feel like, because I don't know if Hank Azaria is Italian or not, but he plays the Italian chef, doesn't he?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, so if it doesn't bother Italian people, then I really don't think why it should bother me. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's just a cartoon. At the end of the day, it's just a comedy show, and I think there's bigger fish to fry.
Right, absolutely.
Right. I was just going to say there's totally bigger issues to worry about than a damn cartoon character.
Right.
Right, like he spoke about 9/11, and I'm sure Indian people weren't looked at very well after 9/11. So, I mean, you might want to talk about a bigger issue. You might want to talk about that, how not all Indian people are terrorists, or not all people from that area of the country, are terrorists or out to get Americans.
Right, and I think this is a very good point that you guys brought up as well, because here's an important distinction to make as well, is that most of the people that were involved in 9/11 were Arabs, and Indians are very different from Arabs. They're nothing like Arabs at all.
Okay.
And particularly when it comes to the stereotypes, the Simpson stereotype about Apu. Apu is a Hindu, and that is when you talk about an Indian stereotype, you're essentially talking about a Hindu stereotype, particularly in the West. So that's one of the tragedies that happened after 9/11, is that people either just didn't know or failed to make a distinction between Arabs and Indians. Arabs are a whole different thing. It's like Americans and French. It's like a whole different ballgame. Right. You know what I mean? So Indians are a completely different culture, completely different people from what Arabs are. And what happened right after 9/11 was one of those crazy things as well, where, I kind of get it, but I kind of don't at the same time, because you kind of get it because Arabs and Indians look very similar. So sometimes when you're an angry dude, you're just trying to take out your vent out on an Arab guy. You see an Indian guy, you're like, hey, it looks the same.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, it's definitely a lack of education.
Yes, that's kind of what I was going to get at, is that there's a lack of education, and I think that is a bigger battle to fight, is that educating, I think, people in the West, and educating Americans about the distinction between Arabs and Indians. And now, I'm not saying that Arabs are bad immigrants or anything like that. I'm not talking about Arabs here at all.
Right.
What I'm only talking about is Indians and Hindus in particular. And the fact that Hindus, generally speaking, if you look at that, and I kind of talked about it in the video as well, like if you look at Hindus, generally speaking, they are the embodiment of a model immigrant. They come here, they work hard, They're usually very well educated. They usually make decent money. You never find generally speaking, you'll never find an Indian on welfare or anything like that. You won't find, at least to my knowledge, I've never heard of an Indian gang overseas. So, a lot of the things about Indians are very admirable when they immigrate to the West.
Absolutely. I've never heard of any Indian problem or anything you said.
Yeah,
they're always working, or they have, sometimes they've got a couple jobs.
Right.
Besides just a convenience store or whatever, or a doctor or whatever they are, you know what I mean? So that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Right, definitely, and I think that distinction I think is something that people can work on a little bit as well. And when I was talking about kind of bigger fish to fry as well, I was also going to talk about the stereotypes that are being talked about in The Simpsons aren't really a big deal because that show isn't really supposed to be taken seriously.
Right.
So there's a big difference there. But what is actually problematic and what actually is something that I feel like, people, Indians who are in the public eye, like somebody like Hari Kondabolu or Carl Penn, the people that were on the show, they should be bringing kind of more attention to issues like, there's academics out there in America in plum positions in universities, and there's, these public intellectuals. Now, these people, they're supposed to be taken seriously, and they pretend to be, they act like they're part of the movement which cares about minorities in America. So they talk about it like that way. But when they talk about Indians in India, they paint their culture in a completely negative light. They paint their culture as backward and evil and oppressive and things like that. And if you actually study Indian culture, that turns out not to be the case. So it's and then these opinions and these kind of, in quotes, scientific material that is created by these academics, that's what truly seeps into the minds of the American people. And then when they talk to an Indian, they talk about, isn't your culture supposed to be really backward and oppressive? And I feel like that's where attention needs to really go, because these people, like I said again, are supposed to be taken seriously rather than a cartoon.
Right. No, I agree with you 100%. Absolutely. Maybe you should contact True TV and make a documentary yourself.
I know. I doubt they'll take me seriously, but I'll keep trying.
Absolutely. And then go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of the other points that we made too when talking going back to the Hank Azaria thing. 28 years ago when they started. Now, if they had started The Simpsons today, I got a firm belief that somebody like Aziz
or Russell
Peters or somebody like, would probably get the voice of Apu.
Right.
Would be asked to, and I think just out of the pure comedy of it, they would, if they weren't told to, I think just being a comedian, they would say, hey, do you want me to do it in this patanking voice or the stereotypical voice anyway, because it's funnier than if they did it in their normal voice. So right. I think the voice would still be the same regardless.
Right.
Just out of a pure comedy thing, but...
I agree with that. I mean, you look at all the other characters as well, and they sound like what, a stereotypical person from, insert country would sound like. So,
right.
Yep.
So, yeah, I agree with that.
Let me see. What else did we have we wanted to go about?
I know you were talking about what was that CNN special where that one guy went to India and put human remains on his head.
Oh my God, I didn't hear that. What happened?
So yeah, that's exactly the point that I was trying to make. So this person, Reza Aslan, he's a religious scholar, and he's the kind of guy that is supposed to be taken seriously in America. He's the kind of guy that when he says something, he's taken seriously, and people take his word for it. So, and Reza Aslan has a long history of misrepresenting other cultures in order to paint a more sympathetic culture of, say, radical Islam, for example. So a lot of the times he's called on shows, and a lot of the times people talk to him about, some of the problems in kind of radical Islam in the world today. And he says, well, those are not problems at all, if you look at it, because every culture is equally insane. And so to prove the point, so to say, he did a show for CNN called Believer, where he was like, I'm going to go to all these different countries and I'm going to show you that all of these cultures are just as crazy as people are, calling radical Islam to be. So he went to India, and he didn't go to like any normal place that you could probably, have a normal conversation with an actual scholar. He went to this weird, obscure guy that sat him on the beach somewhere and put these human remains on his head. And then that was the show. And then he comes back, and then he's telling people, look at how crazy these Hindus are. Wow. They're just as crazy as the people, that you're talking about Islamic, kind of radical Islam as well. They're just as crazy. And that's completely not true. It's like me coming from India to America, going to the, what's that, Baptist church, the crazy folks?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So going to the Baptist church, which is like a minuscule percentage of American population,
right,
or American Christians even, right, going to them and being like, look at these bloody Americans, man. Aren't they freaking crazy? That's exactly what he did.
Okay.
They've been doing that for years. I don't know if you know who Abbott and Costello are.
Yes, I think I've heard of them.
Okay, back in, I believe it was World War II, they came out, Abbott and Costello came out with a movie called, now I can't think of the movie. They were not in the Navy.
Right.
The foreign leader or something. They were in the Army or something it was. And they had this bit in the movie where they had the drill instructor and they had like 4 guys in line, and Abbott and Costello had their bit back and forth. Well, evidently, during that, I think it was the Chinese or the Japanese were showing this movie and saying this is what your typical American soldier is like. It's just a goofy, stupid thing. So, yeah, stuff like that's been going on for years where they go, something. It's like coming over to America, going into like the backwoods of America and finding that weird family that lives back there. And then you're like, these are typical Americans. They're nuts.
Exactly, right? And that's essentially what he did. And that's essentially what a lot of these scholars that are based in America that have these plum positions in universities, that's the kind of picture they try to paint about India. So if you truly want to fight misrepresentation, if you truly want to fight misinformation and bigotry and things like that, those are the people that you need to focus on. Because Reza Aslan, I bet you, if you talk to Hari Kondabolu, well, I probably shouldn't bet, but I think there's some decent money that I can put on it, that if you talk to Hari Kondabolu, he's going to say that Reza Aslan is a good scholar and that, he's doing a lot of good work for downtrodden minorities.
See, I would wonder if Hari would even know who that is.
True, that's another good question. I was going to say that too.
Only because, like in his documentary, when I know, because he's a comedian, so I guess he was trying to be funny with it. But when he forgot, I think I mentioned it in the show we did. He mentioned the Indian guy who played on Lost, and he didn't know their names.
Right.
And I'm like, you think you're doing a documentary, you would do the research, because it took me all of 2 seconds to Google, the actor's name and stuff. So I don't know if he was just trying to be funny or what, but
I think he was just trying to be funny there. I don't know if it really landed, but I think he was just trying to be funny there. He was like, oh, that guy from Harold and Kumar, that guy from Lost.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't think it landed either.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to be funny there.
But yeah, that's definitely something that should be probably brought up more in politics, is what you're talking about. These scholars, going over there and giving a wrong image and a wrong depiction of the people over there, and then they come over here and we're supposed to listen to them because they're scholars. Oh, that's really what they're like. Oh, I don't want those people living near me, or I don't want them coming over here.
Right.
Because you don't see that stereotype represented.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, if you talk to a lot of Americans, which I've started to do ever since, of course, I moved here, I talk to a lot of people, and when I talk to them about, like, say, India, and they'll tell me, oh, so you're from India, and then we have to start talking about it. One of the first things they'll ask me is, oh my God, I heard that you guys have really big problems with cost, and your biggest issues are cost, and so on and so forth. And that's one of the ideas that they have in their heads. And undoubtedly, cost is a problem in India, and it was a worse problem, I think, say 200, 300 years ago than it is today.
Right.
But what people here feel is that is what Indian or Hindu reality is that cost is their reality, which is not the case at all. Cost was not a massive part of Indian culture and Indian history for a while, and after which it kind of started to so cost essentially was designed as just a classification based on what you did as an occupation, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, so if let's say you were born in a business family, but you didn't want to go into your family business and you wanted to instead become a professor, then you would move away from kind of like the businessman class to the teaching class, So that's how costs were designed. They were known as varna back in the day.
Okay.
But then over the centuries, they got more solidified, and the movement between castes was prohibited, which is, of course, a terrible thing and a bad thing. And we're trying to move away from that as a society now. I think we've made some movement on it. I think we still have a long ways to go. But then that's, again, when you talk to people here, they think that caste is all that Indian society is all about. And it just, sometimes when I talk to people, it just blows my mind. It's like, what have people been telling you,
That is true. Thinking about that, yeah. I would think, that they would still like that over there. I would have no idea. So it's a lack of education on probably on our part here in this country with misrepresentation, or like you said, you got those guys going over there doing those crazy things, and this is the way it is. Not saying. Yeah, it's definitely a lack of education, and somebody or a group of us need to get together and say, listen, this is the way things are, but it's easier said than done.
Right. Right, most definitely. I think I agree with that. I think it's like, like you said, I think it's lack of education on part of the Americans, and I think it's also kind of, I think Indians need to take more ownership of this as well. I think it needs to be a little 50-50, where Indians kind of take ownership about, okay, we can't just let these weird, thoughts that a lot of Americans have about Indian people, we can't just let that continue. So we need to reach out to them and kind of help educate the American population better about what Indians are and what Hindus are in particular as well. And I think, just to be fair to Hari, I think that's what he was trying to do. But again, like I said, he chose the absolute worst possible example to do so.
Right, exactly. He just a bad example of what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if he was trying to do it. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I kind of wanted to ask you guys as well. What is, like, when you guys watch this documentary, what was your sort of biggest gripe with it?
My biggest gripe with it was, it seemed like the not the condensation, that's what you find on a glass. The contradiction. The contradictions it seemed like he was making. Like he would talk about the one thing, like he has a problem with the voice of Apu and the stereotype that he was, but then talked about how when he started doing his stand-up act, he was doing that. He was doing the Apu voice and making fun of himself and his family and portraying it that way. And I was like, well, if you got a problem with it, then why are you trying to do that in your comedy act?
Right.
It just didn't make sense. Like, if it was funny enough for you to do in your act for other people to laugh at, then that's what the Simpsons are doing. They're doing this for someone to enjoy it and laugh at. So I didn't understand that argument.
Right.
And then when he was talking to Cal Penn, Same thing.
Oh, yeah.
And Cal was like, no, I just hate The Simpsons altogether because he can't divorce the two of, he can't separate Apu from The Simpsons. But yet then he talks about how in his first movie, he played a character named Taj Mahal.
Right.
And then did an Indian, your stereotypical Indian voice. And I'm like, well, if you're that dead set against this, then again, why are you doing this? I understand, you're an actor and you're going to do it, but don't come out and say you don't like this when you played a stereotypical Indian person in a comedy movie.
Right.
Like, it seemed like he didn't understand comedy or how it works. And again, I was like, I didn't understand his argument with Apu. And I'm like, why are you using Apu? He's a bit character. He's not even a main character on the show to complain about. And he's one of every character who is a stereotype. So I just didn't understand what he was. I didn't understand the point he was trying to get across.
Right.
And then I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I get angry too easy.
Yeah, he got really. Mark got really angry.
I start getting a hair up my ass, and I was like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
Yeah.
And then that's what we did. Like it just, I don't know. It did. It lit like a fire under my ass as I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, now we got to rewatch it. I want to pick the bits apart that I want to talk about and show you, the contradictions and what I don't understand. I mean, even the one scene where he was sitting with his parents, and they were breaking his balls saying that, well, you kind of look like Apu. And he was like, no, I don't. That's not funny. And he was like, no, you have Apu hair.
Right.
And I was like, now, is that the kind of stuff you're talking about when you were younger, getting picked on? Because your parents are doing it and you're laughing at it. Like, I was completely blown. I'm like, wow. I don't. And then, like, after it was done, I was like, all right, wait. This guy's trying to be a comedian. Is this something I'm supposed to take seriously, or is he making a joke about it? Right. And then I was just like, no, I think he's serious with it. Like, he seriously has a problem with Apu. And I don't know. Like I said, I just got the hair lit under my ass, and I said, all right, we're going to have to take this apart because I don't think this guy knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, and we thought that there were definitely more issues. There had to be some. There's got to be some bigger issue that's going on. That's stereotyping Indians that he could have tackled, other than a cartoon that a character has been around for 28 years.
Right, and see, I don't think there is nowadays, because, like Sham says, and I think he even says it at the end of the documentary, that Indians are more prominent in in the industry now, because you got Aziz, he's got his own show. There's Mindy's got her own show, and they're on TV now, and these are actual people, not an animation.
Right.
And they're out there doing their. I mean, like Sham said, and I believe that this is going to happen too over the next few years. And it happened, I believe, like with the Mexican or Latino community when they started coming up, like, because you had shows like George Lopez show, and he, and a couple. You're going to see shows like that coming up with Indian people,
right.
In the next few years, and that we're just going to make that evolution. So, I mean, and right now, I was just, I don't know, I was just blown away by the whole thing. Like, now you're going to pick the time to complain about Apu?
Right.
I don't know, maybe, I don't know the actor's name from The Big Bang Theory.
Kunal Nair, I think. Yeah,
Yes, who he plays Raj. I mean, he's even, and that show's been around for a while.
Right.
I don't think he depicts Indians as bad or as a stereotype. I mean, he's a very intelligent person, which you said Indians are. He's got a good job doing. I'm not sure. I don't really watch the show too much, but he seems to be representing Indian people in a decent way. So, like, I don't know. I wasn't impressed with it. I didn't really like it, and like I said, it just lit the fire under my ass to go, all right, I got to go and bitch about this. And say something. Like, I was like, after it got done, I'm like, well, that's an hour and a half of my life I'm never going to get back. But that's what I thought of it. I wasn't,
right.
I don't know.
Right, and I agree with you. You made a good point about the guy from The Big Bang Theory, and there's another character that's been kind of around for a while, like when Mindy Kaling played Kelly Kapoor on The Office.
Oh, that's
and
right.
That was kind of right.
I forgot about that.
That was kind of a new character, and that character, like The Office, has been around again for a while too. So those were the two characters, like Mindy Kaling in The Office, and then Raj in The Big Bang Theory, when they were like, I think, two big, Indian representations on American TV. And you look at both of those people, and they don't have that voice. They don't have that stereotypical voice.
Right, and the difference is they're main characters as opposed to Apu, who shows up every few episodes.
Right.
They're on the shows every week, every show, and they're a prominent part of the show.
Right. That's very true, because these are people, again, I think we're already making that kind of evolution towards where Indians are not just seen as that funny voice on TV on The Simpsons. We're already making that movement. So I think that's why I personally felt that it was the wrong time to kind of go after that issue, because I think we're already moving away from that issue.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's just why I felt that the timing was a little off. Like, if you really wanted to raise it, probably somebody should probably have raised it like in the early '90s. But I feel like today, when we're actually starting to move away from it, when we have all these mainstream characters that are not seen as these stereotypes, now Indians on TV are just seen as people having people problems.
Absolutely.
So that's what I made of it.
And Bob, what did you think?
What did I think? I guess I really did kind of think the way that you were thinking, Mark, on the topic.
Like if it was supposed to be funny or not, or
like we didn't know whether it was gonna, we didn't know whether he was trying to be funny about things or, trying to have us take him seriously and things like that. It was just, and I actually had said to Mark, I'm like, I want to see him talk to Russell Peters, because Russell Peters does that voice in his comedy act. And then when he interviewed Russell Peters, he didn't really get what he wanted out of him, because, somebody like Russell Peters, you'd see him, he might voice the voice of Apu if he were to do it today. And he would do that stereotypical voice, I believe, anyway. So,
see, what I'd like to see from that documentary are the outtakes.
Yeah.
The stuff that got cut. Because I know when you make a documentary, you're going to cut, Michael Moore does it all the time, you're going to cut things to support your perspective. Mm-hmm. And it didn't seem like Hari did a good job of cutting things to his perspective, because even when he was talking to Whoopi Goldberg, and she was like, well, you can't get mad at ignorance. They don't really know any better. I got a collection that I call Negrobilia, and she's got all this stuff and showing. And he seemed like he had he was shocked to find out that she wasn't offended by this stuff. Like, oh, you're not offended? You're not going to make a documentary about, something about the minstrels from, 60 years ago, 70 years ago? And was the Russell Peters interview. There was a point in there, and I think it was just due to bad editing, because I think Russell Peters would have answered the question. He asked him, what did he ask him? I forgot. When the answer wasn't what the question was, when he avoided the question.
It was like a politician. He completely avoided answering it.
Let me look at my note for a minute. Hari had asked him if... where's the Russell Peters? I think it was about the accents.
I see.
If he ever gets his balls broke about doing the accents or something.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Russell answered, well, the one question I get asked the most is, what if a white guy was doing these jokes? And it really didn't answer the question that Hari had asked him. So I was like, I don't know, did he edit something out of that and then just put this answer in of Russell? Like, I really want to see the outtakes of it to see what other people say. And then when he was doing his street interviews, I want to see what other, like, how many people did you interview on the street, and how many even knew what the hell you were talking about?
All right.
You know, because I don't like. I think if we did that around here and asked people, like even if we went to like Indian restaurants or found Indian people, and whether college students or whatever, and asked them, I think the older Indian people either wouldn't know who Apu is and were not affected by him at all, and you know, so that's why I'm like, it was just kind of weird, and I really would like to see the outtakes.
Right. I think another interesting aspect to kind of add to it is that intent matters as well. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh,
like
absolutely.
When you're doing something like that, intent matters. Like I honestly don't believe, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but I honestly don't believe that the Simpsons are trying to be insulting to Indians when they do it. You know,
I don't believe
goal.
that either.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that they're trying to insult anybody.
No, that's the fabric of comedy is to make fun of and, like I said, exaggerate the personality of whether it's a person themselves or a culture of people. That's what comedy, and comedy's been like for years.
Right.
You know, is just the exaggeration. Like not all cops eat donuts, but yet all cops eat donuts. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like we're actually trying to write a bit, to tell you the truth, about like a stereotypical Italian family, but we're making all their names be like ridiculous. Like I
got it written down.
Mark has it written down, and then
that's funny.
Yeah, like
all right, we got like Alfredo. And then we do have an Indian character. His name is Raj Oli. He marries Raj Oli. He marries Alfredo's sister, Sally Fredo, and they have twins called Ali Oli and Ravi Oli.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
And then we just started going off about all these like Italian foods and stuff. Like the mayor of the town's going to be Oregano. The bar owner's Cap O'Cola.
That's funny.
And then we just got all these different names down. We were just sitting here one day, and I'm like, that'd be funny. Let's do like a whole Italian stereotypical, like little Italy town in New York City, where there's just one street where all these guineas live on, and that's just what they do. And then but I don't know, maybe because we're Italian American, we can do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, like I don't know. I guess. I mean, is it okay that we do that, or is it like
I don't know, man.
Like, kind of like when
some things are just funny, you know what I mean?
Right.
Some things are just for humor.
But some people that do that, they'll go, they're Italian, so they could do that. But if we did that, say with like black people and black names and stuff, that's right. Look at the two white guys, they're being racist.
Sure.
When we're not, we're just trying to be funny and make people laugh.
Right.
But that is one of the problems in this country is racism and things like that. You'd think, we'd be past it by now, but there's always that group of people.
Absolutely, and kind of to add to that intent part as well, I don't know if you guys saw the recent thing that happened where some girl apparently wore a Chinese dress to her prom, and then I think some Chinese guy got really mad about it, and he said, my culture is not your GED prom dress. And it got like 170,000 retweets or likes or something crazy like that. And I'm just like, see, again, this is a prime example of intent matters. Like this girl was not wearing a Chinese dress to be like, oh my God, look how ugly Chinese dresses are, or look how stupid Chinese people are. She liked the dress. She thought it was beautiful. And she said, I want to showcase this dress on one of the most kind of important days of my teen life.
Right.
So, obviously, she's not doing it to look stupid because no girl wants to look stupid on her prom night.
Right? Like who would who would do that?
Yeah. Why would you do that?
They're like, you know what? I'm going to go to my senior prom.
Yeah.
One time I have a senior, and I'm going to go in a clown outfit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why? I see. I wouldn't even think that if I was, I don't. Chinese culture, Indian culture, or black, whatever culture I was, somebody did that. That would be the furthest thing from my mind. Like, that's not right.
Right.
Like I would feel proud of that. I'd be like, wow, look at this girl here. It's her senior prom, and she's wearing something like this that represents my culture in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, people were saying that this is like the worst form of cultural appropriation, but she also, I think the girl, that posted the photo, she also said that, I think Chinese culture is beautiful, and I understand that this is a Chinese dress, and which is why I wanted to showcase it. And I told everybody at my prom or whatever that this is a Chinese dress and stuff like that. And so she wasn't even saying that, no, this dress has nothing to do with Chinese culture. Like, she openly came out and admitted that this was a Chinese dress. So I don't think we can really blame her for culture appropriation as well, because it's not like she's wearing the dress and she's saying, no, China has nothing to do with this dress at all.
Right.
So she's not even doing that. And the funny thing is that people are telling her that you're a horrible person and how dare you appropriate Chinese culture like that. And I'm just like, again, intent matters. Like, if somebody's wearing an Indian dress and is just like, oh my God, can you believe how stupid I look in this dress? Or can you believe how stupid this dress is?
Right. Post the picture. Look how horrible this dress is. Right.
Yeah, that's you being a dick. But if somebody wears it and they're like, dude, look how awesome I look in this dress, or look how beautiful this dress is. I feel happy when people wear an Indian dress and they like it. I feel happy. I feel like, it's almost validating my culture in a way as well.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
If somebody eats Italian food, I guess I'm sure you guys don't get pissed off and you're like, dude, that's my food. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Well, unless it is my food, because I'm kind of a fat guy. I'm like, hey. Get your own plate of pasta.
Right.
But we'll have enough for you, though.
Right. Oh, yeah, we definitely make enough, so. But, no, I'm not like that at all. Like, I don't even, is there a clothing or any kind of.
No, I don't think like that. No.
Something that, no?
No.
But no, I don't know. I especially like you said, she's coming out and she says, she thinks that their culture is beautiful. I don't understand, but that's what happens in this country. It's very hard to do something like that without offending somebody.
Right.
Or like, I just saw in the news. I was actually on the Howard Stern show. I was listening to yesterday when they did the news part of the show, and they had brought this up, the Apu thing, and.
Right.
Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, actually said, he goes, well, I think we're just at a time in America where people like to pretend they're offended by things.
True.
And I think that he's absolutely right. I'm not saying that Hari's pretending or anything like that, but I mean, we're at a time where, you try and do something good, or you think you're doing something good. He's got, Simpsons 28 years successful. I mean, you're still going to have your critics. Well, it's not what it was. Yeah, well, nothing is always what it was, because you have to evolve. You can't do the same shtick the whole time, otherwise it gets old. But we are at a time where everybody gets, like they call it, butthurt over small things.
That's very true.
And I don't know if that's just the generation, or like I like to blame it on the millennials,
right?
And that generation of the kids that come up nowadays and. Like when I was a kid and I played baseball, we kept score, we had winners, we had losers. Nowadays, everybody gets a trophy for participation. And I'm like, well, when I played and I lost a game, we had to learn from the loss. Now it's, oh, you lost. Well, here's a trophy just for playing.
Right.
So like these kids grow up and they feel entitled to this, and it's like, oh, you know what? I don't like this or I don't like that.
Right. I think that's true. And one of the other things, I feel like that you guys mentioned on that episode, which I kind of agreed with as well, is that I think I think that documentary was a little unfair to Hank Azaria.
Absolutely,
because,
yes.
I think it was. I don't know if that's what he was trying to go for. If he was just trying to go for Hank Azaria or what. But the way he's portrayed in the documentary, I think, is a little unfair, because he paints him like this guy who just doesn't want to talk to Hari, and he's just like trying to run away from Hari because he's scared of Hari or something like that, and that Hank knows that what he's doing is so wrong, and that's why he doesn't want to talk to Hari. And it's clear that that's not the reason why he doesn't want to talk to Hari. The reason he doesn't want to talk to Hari is because he's afraid that either Hari or the people producing the documentary, whoever, is going to edit the documentary or the footage in such a way that Hank is going to come off looking like a dick.
Right,
that's
absolutely.
What he's afraid of. And I feel like that's the reason why he doesn't want to talk to Hari, and it's clear. And Hari's like, I don't know why he doesn't want to talk to me. He's never made it clear. Maybe he's just doesn't want to, accept the fact that he did something wrong. And I'm like, no, Hari, it's right there. You can see why he doesn't want to talk.
Right,
to you.
He said it in the email he sent him.
Yeah, because he's afraid that you're going to edit him in such a way that's going to make him look bad.
Right.
And you guys, I think, produced the full clip of him giving a speech somewhere, right? There was a commencement speech or something where I think he said, "Oh, look, Hank says that we need to be careful of people's feelings, but he still does the voice."
Yes.
And then he showed a clip of that speech. And then you guys played the whole speech, and it was Hank doing every single voice.
Absolutely. Right. I had said that to Bob when we did that. I'm like, listen, we got to find that whole speech that he did and play the whole thing, because I knew what Hari was doing there. I'm like, oh, he's just making him out to be like when he goes out to do these commencement speeches, he just does Apu. He goes out and he'll do the Apu voice, and I'm like, no, I know that's not right.
Right. Exactly. And I'm just like, dude, you could have just played that whole speech, or you could have just been like, you're trying to paint a speech, you're trying to paint a picture where he's going to this college commencement speech and he's only doing the Apu voice.
Right.
Yeah, and so that's why I feel like that documentary was a little unfair to Hank, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up for today.
Awesome.
And I want to thank Sham for coming on the show and talking to us about the Apu thing and everything else we talked about. We learned a lot today, actually.
Yeah, we did.
I did.
We did.
About the scholars and the bad picture that the Indian people are getting painted into with human remains, and how there are other issues than Apu that we all need to look at here, and we all need to get educated, to know that there's differences between whether it's Arabs and Indians or the cultures in general, and not everybody's not everybody is a stereotype, and it is okay to laugh at a stereotype if it's painted in
if I could just quickly say one thing as well. If you guys want to just know a little bit more about the kind of bias that we really need to fight that I was talking about, I would just say if you want to find a little bit more about it, you can go to my channel and just look at there's a playlist called Anti-Hindu Bias in Academia. Check out that playlist. I think that'll answer some questions as well.
Absolutely. And you can find that on the YouTube channel. It's the Sham Sharma Show.
And we're going to put a link. We're going to put a link to your YouTube in the description of this, so people will be able to check out your YouTube channel.
I think we're going to make a mention on the website and the Facebook. So people can definitely go and check that show out and get a little bit more educated and find out what's going on.
Awesome.
So, thank you for coming on.
Marc and Bob.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for having me, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, I'm sure we'll talk soon again about something.
Yes.
100%, definitely. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, take care, dude. All right, good.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I'd say that went pretty well.
Yeah, it did.
That was it was interesting, and some of the things I didn't think about that he brought up.
I know.
Like right at the end there when he was talking about how he don't think the documentary was fair to Hank Azaria.
I know.
Like that was a point I didn't even think about.
Yeah, I didn't think about that either, where it wasn't kind of fair to him, and he's doing all kinds of voice work for all different things.
Right.
Like he brought up a good point that Hank Azaria does the voice for the Italian guy too, doesn't he? Like he's like, doesn't he do that voice too?
Does that.
Like, and he definitely brought up all the shit about the different stereotypes and how it really is a show based on stereotypes.
The whole thing, and that's from an Indian guy who is supposed to be, according to Hari, is supposed to be offended by this and this and that, but he brings up good points, and I really think, definitely if you get a chance, check out his YouTube page, his videos, his comments on things. And
he's a really educated dude on this kind of stuff. I mean, we were looking at his YouTube because I remember how we found him. He was like one of the first videos that came up when we were trying to find people either for or against what we were talking about. And we saw his video and we're like, oh my God, we got to hit up this guy. And by chance, I tweeted him. And then he direct messaged me, and then here it is.
Yeah, the magic happened.
So that's kind of how it works. And I'm glad that he was down to talk with us. And I didn't even expect to talk for that long.
Yeah, neither did we. Went almost a good hour, I would say.
Yeah,
with that. Yeah, he's out in. I don't know if we mentioned it earlier, but he's out in Chicago.
Yeah.
So when they got that hour
time difference. Yeah. So
and he's only been in the country for a few years, but I mean, you can tell how educated
but he
is.
He didn't even move here like with his parents or whatever. So it looks like he came over just alone or whatever, or just immigrating to this country.
Right.
And I mean, he's really well educated.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to him about more issues.
Yeah, I guess he's a wrestling fan too, so we're gonna have to bring him on and talk to him about wrestling. That's fucking awesome.
What is it? Backlash? That's this weekend.
Yeah,
that's not really a big pay-per-view though.
No, I think the SummerSlam's the next biggest one,
and that's so many months.
That's
away.
August. So we might have to bring him. We might have to talk to him about something else.
Well, I don't know. Maybe when they start building, when they start putting the matches together for SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, maybe we
can
can
get
do
him.
that.
Maybe we can talk to him in between, and then we'll do like a SummerSlam wrap up show,
right,
or something. Bring him on then and talk, because I do have some questions about. Like
Indian characters that they have,
what his thoughts are on Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
Does he like him? Does he not like him?
Right.
Does he like the storyline that they're giving him? The modern day Maharaja and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or if that even pertains.
Yeah, that might not even pertain. Right.
Because Jinder Mahal talks about what? He's from India, though.
Is that where they book him from? I
think so,
know he's from Canada. That's what I know about him.
See, now I want to ask Sham if that bothers him that a Canadian is playing the part of an Indian.
Right, but he is Indian, but he's a Canadian, I guess. He's a Canadian Indian.
Can you say that? Is that because I know you can't say Canuck? That's bad.
No, I'm saying I'm merging Canadian with Indian. He's a Canadian.
Yeah, but can you say that?
I can say whatever I want.
Is that an offensive statement?
Like my friend John Paul has Italian family that lives out in Canada. He calls them Catalians. And then there's the Canadians, all the Asian people that
that's
are
a funny,
there.
eh?
Hey, that's a funny.
Well, you say a lot.
Right.
But not like a DeFonzi did, eh? That's great. Well, yeah, we're definitely going to be talking to him in the future. And
yeah, he seems like a really good guy,
Absolutely.
Really,
and we'll probably
really
reach
cool
out to
talk
other people, too,
yeah.
See if we can. It'd be nice if we can find a fucking idiot out there to talk to. Just somebody to make fun of or something. Because, if everybody we reach out to is intelligent like Sham is,
I know. Then it kind
of
defeats the purpose.
Okay, now we're, what, a respectable, intelligent show?
Yeah, we're broadcast journalists.
I want to...
like Bobby Heenan.
We went to the Bobby Heenan School of Broadcasting.
Right.
But I would, I'd like to, reach out to somebody and then realize when we're talking to him, wow, this guy's a fucking idiot. And then be like, no, what are you talking about?
And then be like,
oh my God, who the hell cares?
Right.
Yes.
But no,
Shut up!
It was good talking to Sham, and I'm glad our first interview was with somebody who was educated,
right, and it wasn't stupid.
Right. Like his views and opinions were well put together. It wasn't just like Hari's documentary where it's kind of thrown together and he's got a problem with this, but yet he does this, but he's got a problem with this, but he wasn't clear on that. You know what I mean? Like he was precise and
he knew what he was talking about, and he was talking about what was he talking about with the religion? How they had the religions all screwed up,
right? Because
they merged it together.
The difference between Arabs and Indians and the Hindus and the Muslims.
Yes, where he said that they merged the Hinduism, with the gods and stuff like that. That's like Hindu stuff. So it's like they mixed it all together.
You know what we should do?
What?
Is I just thought of this. You know how we're creating that Italian community?
Yeah, remember we were talking to him about it.
Yeah. I think we should have him do the voice.
Oh.
Seriously.
Okay.
All right, here's let everybody know what we're talking about. After this thing, Bob and I decided we were going to create a stereotypical, little Italian village.
Yes, a little Italy, if you will.
Okay, where everybody's name is Alfredo and Ray Mano Linguini. What are some of the other names we came up? Was one of Bob's favorites. Paz.
Tafazul.
Yeah, his last name is Tafazul.
Oh.
That's why I went down because you're.
I just hit it. Sorry.
You potted me down.
Paz.
Tafazul. You know, and
hey, it's a me. Paz. Tafazul.
It's a me. I'm your friend, Mac Aroni. And then we even got like an Irish Italian.
Right.
Cap O'Cola. This is ridiculous. But it's so funny.
What's even better is it's all written down.
Parmigiano. Yeah. So, but what we got, it started out with Alfredo.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, Alfredo, his sister, Sally Fredo, marries an Indian guy named Raj Oli. And Sally and Raj have twins, Ali Oli and Ravi Oli. And then from there, it just went on to like neighbors. There's a couple who live next door to him. Laz and Anya live next door to him.
That's lasagna for you people. Don't get it.
And Tom. We forgot about Tom.
Tom.
Ado Puree.
Ado Puree. That's incredible.
And my Auntie Paz.
Yeah.
And, and the little Chinese kid. Half Chinese, half Italian.
Oh, what is he?
Fuck. Last name is Katcha.
Focaccia. I did it again.
You hit the playing around?
I keep hitting.
Oh, your buddy.
Who?
Nick. His last name? Gertos.
Gertos. Wow.
This is what we do in our. This is what we do in our spare time.
Gertos.
Nick Gertos. He's going to be a character in the Little
Italy.
Little Italy. We could call it Little Italy.
That's what we're going to have to call it, Little Italy.
Or Little Italy. We should call it. Bruce Cheddar, Pepperoni, just to go through some of the other names that we came up with. The mayor, Oregano. Mayor Oregano.
Mayor Oregano.
Marinara. What? Yeah, come on, I'm going to have to go do that.
Oh, the pills are kicking in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what we're working on. I think we should get Sham to do the voice of Raj Oli.
Okay.
Father of Ravi Oli.
We'll have to ask him. I think he might be down for it because he seems like he's into comedy.
Yes, and he understands how comedy works.
Right.
And he was laughing when we were kind of going over this with him. So.
Right. So
we should definitely do that.
Yes.
And
are we going to put another one in the books?
I think so. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we got to cover. We're probably not going to do the clean show next week.
Nope, because it's Mother's Day.
Or I don't know. Maybe I'll try. We'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind and I'll try.
Yeah, maybe he'll say that he loves his mother.
No, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
No. But or maybe I'll save it for the week after that.
Ooh, you could talk about your mom the week after.
Right. Like
right, and be like, we did the motherfucking clean show, motherfucker.
We'll do the clean show where we can talk about whatever, and you can even say no, we won't talk. We'll talk Mother's Day after Mother's Day, because then we can say, all right, hey, what did you do with your mom? What did you guys do?
Right.
And then you can say, what did you do with your mom? And I'll be like, I prayed to Satan that he would fucking take her soul. But whatever.
I got to get a clip of Bobby Boucher. I love my mama.
Yeah. Well, he was also retarded and didn't have my mother for his mother.
Very true.
So, but I think that's 12 in the books.
Do you think Bobby Boucher would have made his mother drink if she was like your mom? Do you think she would have drank low quality H2O? Okay.
I vaguely know what you're talking about. Because it's an Adam Sandler movie, and
you're not an Adam Sandler guy,
but
that's right.
So I vaguely I understand. I know the reference, but I vaguely understand it.
That's right. Okay,
but whatever.
Well, he was all about high quality H2O.
May the force be with you.
Exactly. Exactly. See, we all have things that we,
absolutely.
That's the thing.
So yeah, I guess don't forget to check out the website bmtalk02.com where. It'll take you. Just go there, and it'll take you everywhere you need to
Correct.
be. Twitter, Facebook, the whole thing,
everything.
Again,
and don't forget to check out. How do you say his name? Sham Sharma.
Sham. It's spelled SHAM.
Okay, but it's Sham.
It's Sham Sharma. And
Okay,
it's the Sham Sharma show.
Sham Sharma. Make sure you check out the Sham Sharma show
on YouTube. Yeah, and always with the feedback. Let us know what you think of what we're doing.
Yes.
Good or bad, we accept all opinions. So
yes.
please, I like the interaction.
Yeah,
so
the interaction.
I'm glad that we're starting to see some.
Yes.
And I'd like to see a little bit more. Maybe we can even set something up where we can get you to call in, or we could call you or something.
Right.
In the future. But yeah, please, the more interaction, the better. And always, tell your friends, share, subscribe, do whatever it is you got to do.
Yes, anything you do with podcasts, do it.
And if you want to listen to the podcast through Radio Public.
Right.
Because then we get maybe a little bit of money and we can build up a budget. And
yes, maybe we can get those pennies together.
Yes, and maybe have a contest where we can give away some spare change.
Some good old pennies.
Absolutely. So I guess that'll do it for episode 12. We'll see you next week for 13 and the clean show with no swearing.
Oh, yes. Fuck.
I guess yes. May the force be with you.
May the fourth be with you.